Hey, hey, what's happening, my joyful people? I'm happy that you're here today. As you can see, I am back in my studio, which, guys, behind the scenes, one day I'm going to show you what's back here. It's not really a studio. It's just my bedroom. But today I really wanted to come to you quickly and just talk about cravings just a little bit. Hey, Reginald, it's so good to see you. Because cravings are really telling us something about our bodies. And there we're going to talk about the psychological side of stuff next week, but I'm going to talk about the physical side this week. So a lot of times we don't know when we're craving something, what it really means to our body and if we're lacking something. So you got to think about that. Like, why is my body telling me I want this? Like, is it a thing like, oh my gosh, chocolate? Like, I want some chocolate. I want chocolate. And it's just like you're thinking, okay, I just want it because I like it. But sometimes it's telling you that your body needs magnesium. That's what's telling you when you crave chocolate. And so one way that you can get that if you want to stay away from the chocolate is to have things like nuts and seeds and veggies and fruit. Things like that will give you more magnesium. Now, if all of a sudden you're craving sugary foods, like you just want really things that are sugary, that can be chromium, it can be carbon, phosphorus, sulfur. Those are things that are minerals and vitamins that are missing in our body. So I tell people as well, you could do things like fresh fruits and vegetables, broccoli, grapes, and cheese and chicken for chromium. I know that sounds weird, like you don't know exactly what you're missing, but this is the physical side. If you're missing carbon, you get that from fresh fruits. So as you can see, it's about eating good whole foods. That's why people talk about our diet, like what's going on with your diet. Well, when you have more and more junk food cravings, it really is because you have a deficiency and you're probably not eating the foods that you need to eat in order to get the nutrients that your body needs. So it's craving these things. And so like if you think about phosphorus, right? Chicken, beef, fatty fish, eggs, dairy, nuts, and veggies. Those are things, when I did my research, that you can use to get that in the body. So be mindful when you're just really craving sugars all the time, what's going on. It also could be that you have a yeast overgrowth in your gut and your digestive system is off, and that yeast is craving sugar because that's what it feeds off of. So the only way you can kill yeast is to starve it from the sugar. There are other things that you can do, like drinking apple cider vinegar, which will help to decrease the yeast population. So be mindful if you're always craving sugary stuff. That's something, are we dealing with a mineral deficiency? Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. That makes me really happy. Are we dealing with that? Or are we dealing with something called a yeast and gut overgrowth, that kind of thing? And that's stuff that we can talk about. That's stuff that my program, Gut Check 21, helps people with. All right, so bread, pasta, and carbs. Ugh, that used to be my killer. I mean, literally. You don't even know. We won't go there. That's like nitrogen in the body. So high protein foods, which we'll talk about next week as to why you have something like a bread and a pasta, and to balance it, it would be the high protein food. So meats, fatty fish, nuts, beans, and chia seeds. So if you're craving those breads and pastas, think about eating more protein, but healthy protein, not like, sausage and pork and all of that kind of stuff. We're going to stay away from that, but clean, like even getting a good grass-fed burger. It's okay, right? So that's what I would tell you. If you're craving breads and pastas, think about the opposite end of the spectrum and getting some good high quality protein in. Oily foods, if you're craving oily foods, that would be something like calcium, all right? So a lot of people talk about getting calcium from milk. I'm one of those people that's really on the fence with that dairy product because a lot of people cannot digest dairy very well. And so I try to tell people and steer them away from it. So guess where you can get your best calcium? Green leafy vegetables. That's right. Oh, hey, Carrie. Hey, Linda. I see people coming on. So it's good to see you guys. So green leafy vegetables and then salty foods. So for those people who are always popping open bags of chips and things like that, that would be chloride, which is fatty fish and goat's milk, which goat's milk is actually closer to human milk than cow's milk. So I always tell people, if you're going to go somewhere, go with goat cheese. Hey, Tisha, goat cheese, things like that, do that. And then silicone, you're going to want to do cashews, nuts, and seeds. So, hey, if you guys have questions right now, pop them in the comment section. Even if you're watching on the replay, you guys know I answer questions, I send links, all of that kind of information. But this is just a small portion of what goes on with the body when you're craving something. So don't get mad at your body for wanting something that may be unhealthy. Start asking yourself questions. You know, and if you're like, I have no idea if my body is low in calcium, maybe you haven't gone to the doctor and you have no idea of where your base level is, just start eating more green leafy vegetables. Let's pull in maybe a great supplement that starts to do that, and you might see some of your cravings go away. If you really are craving sugary things though, and those carbs, increase the protein, and also think about trying apple cider vinegar to try to kill some of that gut yeast, because most of us have yeast. And I don't know if I ever did a share the joy on how to tell. I'll tell you guys a real quick secret. Before you go to bed, put a glass of water beside your bed. The minute you wake up, you're going to get the saliva. Now, I'm not talking about the mucousy stuff that comes from your nasal passage, all that, but just work up some good spit in your mouth, right? And then you're going to spit that into the cup. Go take your shower. When you come back in about 15 minutes, if that spit is like sitting right at the top of the water line and it's just sitting there, you probably don't have a whole lot of yeast in your body. But if it's sitting there and all of a sudden you see like tentacles, almost like a squid or an octopus kind of coming down, that means that you probably have some yeast overgrowth in the gut. So that's something that you guys can definitely do to check and see naturally what your yeast level is in the body. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that you share the joy. You guys know I love when you share these videos out, not because I'm trying to get big and famous and all of that kind of stuff, but really because what I want to do is share the joy of healthy living with people. And I just love seeing people walk in their passion and purpose with energy and zest and zeal. So click the share button. It's real easy to do that. Remember to do all things with joy. And for you guys who maybe want a little help or some one-on-one, I would say not even one-on-one coaching, but some group coaching, I do Gut Check 21. And just so you know, it's half off for the month of May. All right, so that's it. And then it goes back to full price. So if you're interested, inbox me. I'll give you the code for that. Tell your friends and family about it, because this is going to be the last month that I'm doing it with full-on support, because we're going into summertime, and it's going to get a little bit, nobody does really health and wellness stuff in the summertime. They enjoy getting outside and having a good time. So this is the last month to get yourself summertime ready. So remember, share the joy, do all things with joy. Ask me a question. Oh, I see a question. Hold on a second. Let's see. What's the best thing for iron deficiency person? Okay, so with iron, one of the things that you'll want to do is increase your green leafy vegetables for sure. You can also eat raisins and oatmeal, which is really good to increase iron. And I'm not big on organ meat, but liver, of course, has that. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, sardines. Sardines are really high in iron, along with pumpkin seeds. So those are some of the things that you can do, Reginald, for iron deficiencies. Remember, if you have any questions, you guys feel free to ask now or in the replay, or if all of a sudden you're marinating on this material and you have a question that comes up later, just find the post and let me know. So I'm here for you. Next week, we're going to talk about the emotional side of cravings and there are 8 of them. We're going to deconstruct cravings in that way, and we'll talk about that. All right. So hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I'm thankful for you, those that tune in every week and that share these videos out. It means a lot to me. So peace and blessings. Have a wonderful one. And remember to share the joy. Bye-bye.